All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth. All right. Also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Ayashar Barazar from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone, coming back at you with another lesson that is edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. All right, tomorrow is what Babylon the Great, aka America, typically calls Super Tuesday. It's actually election day for the president of the United Snakes of America. Prior to this video, you just saw who the candidates are, and they will be managed. Whoever gets in there, you're going to have tier two puppets managed by a tier one puppet. Tier one puppet being Benjamin Netanyahu or Benjamin Malakowski, which is his real name, and whoever comes out quote unquote victorious tomorrow, either Kamala Imhoff, who goes by the name of surname of Harris, or Trump. Okay, but either way, is no good for Jake. All right, and you keep running to these folks for help. She has already showed you who she was. She's already let you know that she's not a so-called Negro. She's, also called black here in America. Of course, no one is black. That is a derogatory term. It's a byword. And when you go into the Constitution, especially in the constitutional law dictionaries, I like Black's Law Dictionary and Bouvier's Constitutional Law Dictionary. You don't want to be black, okay? Period. Point blank. Period. This is a bad thing. All right. We know that she possibly goes back to be an Edomite, but one thing's for sure, she's not an Israelite. Okay, that's for sure. We've seen her pictures of her with her Indian heritage, so on and so forth. Likewise for a Trump. You already know how he feels. Okay, you go back to those Israelites that were falsely imprisoned, called the Central Park Five. Okay, he never apologized for that. All right, and likewise, he wants to give the police modern qualified immunity. All right, that's one of his things. All right, but also with this guy, we do believe in his spirit. He's Nero reincarnated. Okay, and I keep saying this, with the brothers yesterday, and I keep mentioning that. Hey, you got to remember who put him in the position of being a felon. Okay, and it was a so-called black woman and a so-called black man. We cannot forget that. It was under them that they got those that he got those 34 felonies attached to him. And of course, like I said, with the Central Park Five, you already know how he felt. Now, with respect to the woman, you know how his followers. You know, they've already taken up that mantle. There's been a couple of videos already regarding the KKK in Georgia, and I do believe in North Carolina, saying that they're going to target so-called black women. All right, and this is another video, but if that being the case, they have a huge network, and it won't just end with those two states. And unfortunately, from what we've been seeing, you so-called black women have divested from so-called black men, call for their demise, wanting to abort them even up to the age of 18. and still at it. You doubling down, and now threatening them if they don't vote for this Kamala Harris, even though we're not as a people voting anyway. And I'll get to that. All right, and prove why. All right, but at Ezekiel chapter 9, verses 4 through 6, you know, when that mark of exemption from judgment comes, you know, in several categories, a lot of you women are not going to have it. And this may be a part of that. This just must be part of that. This year was declared the year of Jacob's trouble. All right. And we know it's more women than men, especially amongst the so called Negroes. All right. And now you have left your covering, you know, according to 1 Corinthians 11:3. All right. You're out of order. And uh, that judgment is about to come. It's going to be heavy. All right. And you have no covering. And you're going to start running back, you know, atoning for all those things that you said, especially to, a man of the Lord. All right. According to Isaiah 4:1. All right. Yep. That attitude is going to change real fucking quick. Real quick. All right. But yeah, so, and with you men, too, that qualified immunity from the police, who are, made up of Klan members as well. So it's going to be a very, very interesting next a few months here, if not a very interesting next year. Of course, we hope to be out of here, with everything going on. But yeah, it's a lot about to happen. All right, so without further ado, let me go ahead and get some scriptures. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 1, and it reads, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin unto sin." And what is that counsel? The instructions that he gave us. We're not supposed to be voting, all right? Especially if Yahweh Bashem Yahushai didn't choose them, and if they are a stranger, from another nation. They're not supposed to be put over us. Let me get that in Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15. And it reads, "Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom Yahweh thy power shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother." Okay. Now this Kamala Harris is either an Indian or Edomite. Either way, she's not an Israelite. You know, and that's not hard to see with Trump. He's not an Israelite either. All right, those are strangers to us. They're not supposed to be ruling over us. Okay. Now we understand that you live here in America, but we like the scriptures say, we rather obey Yahweh Bashem Yahushai rather than men. Okay, and no, not casting that. No, Israelites, you're not supposed to be casting any votes. Okay, but we know some of you not gonna listen. A lot of you, as a matter of fact, to 2/3 of our people, are not gonna listen to that. All right. But like he said, woe unto you that take not counsel of me. And who's giving you counsel? It's prophets. Let's get back to Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1. All right. Starting back at the top. "Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin unto sin." And what is that covering? A covering that is not the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, because when you turn away from that, you go into sin, point blank, period. Going out to vote is transgression of the law. 1 John 3 and 4 says, "Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth the law." Let me just go ahead and get that so I won't butcher it. For sin is transgression of the law. 1 John 3 and 4. Okay, there we go. "Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is transgression of the law. And we know the wages of sin is death." Okay? According to Romans 6 and 23. And that's the thing, we know some of us are going to be martyrs uh, for this truth. He told us to, I believe it's 2nd Ezra 4 and 28. No, that's not it. Let me see. Strive truth. A lot of scriptures running through my head right now. Okay. Salakia. Sirach 4 and 28. "Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee." All right. So in this case, we keep that commandment of not setting anyone over us who was a stranger, not our brother, and that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai did not choose. Okay. So, like I said, was saying before, we know that some of us, some among us, are going to be martyrs for this truth. But even if that's the case, in this period, I'd rather go down knowing I disobeyed Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, that's how I strive for the truth. Like the scriptures say, I'd rather obey Yahweh Bashem Yahushai than men. All right, Book of Acts. All right, I believe chapter 5, verse 29. All right, I would rather obey the Lord. All right, and keep that commandment. So yeah, we strive for the truth unto death, and He's gonna fight for us. Now, if that's not the case, we're gonna be left out there. All right, back in Isaiah chapter 30. And verse 2 says, "That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt." And we know, according to Romans 9, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is directly compared to a Pharaoh, okay? The ancient Pharaoh, all right? But you're looking for him to solve your problems. No, he is he's responsible for the problems, that Jake has. And you keep begging this dude. There will be no reparations. Only one who's going to get us out of this is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. When Yahweh Shai returns, and that fathership and the host of angels with him to lay this place desolate. Okay? But we're supposed to do our due diligence to keep the calling of our election sure. And that's first and foremost, having the correct names, above anything. And doing our very best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. All right? But you're going to keep trusting this dude, You had Biden say last year, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And y'all listen to that bastard. You listen to him. Your whole nationality, false nationality, I might add, it's contingent whether or not you voted for him. And Jake dumbass fell for it. But hey, it is what it is. You don't have this truth, and you're scoffing and neglecting those who can give it to you. But that's okay. You know, uh, his men are patient and watching everything. We see everything that's gonna happen. All right. and it is going to happen. Verse 3, okay? And like I said, you have not asked at my mouth. Who was his mouth? The prophets, according to Luke 1, 68 through 70. All right? He has spoken by the mouth of the prophets since the beginning. The same thing he told Moses in Exodus 4, 10 through 12, you know. Don't worry about you not being eloquent or speech. Just open your mouth. I'm gonna put the words in there. All right, man. But Jake, you're gonna run out there and you're already seeing the violence at the polls too. You know, judgment, and it's gonna be crazy. Like those guys said, and they have intel saying what they're gonna do to. I think, like I said, I believe it was in Georgia and North Carolina, the Klan, who they were going to be targeting, so-called black women, because they are the easiest targets. Okay, yeah, got to put up or shut up now. You know, you're gonna have some guys that's gonna jump out there, but a lot of them are not gonna forget what you said. You know, and calling for their death. They're not gonna forget. Like I did a couple years ago with that Cynthia G. I forget what the kind of call it was, but they were bragging about seeing wanting to reduce unarmed black men being unalived by so-called white police officers. I think the average at the time was every 18 minutes, and they said they want to get that down to every 15 minutes. That a so-called unarmed black man was unalived by a white cop. You know, just foul. All right. Again. All right. So back in Isaiah chapter 30, like I said, you're gonna put your trust in this person, and it's not going to end well. It is not going to end well. All right. Regardless of which one of them get in there. All right. Verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And we know Egypt, according to the scriptures, means house of bondage, which is what America is for us. Micah 2 and 10 tells us this place is not our rest. It is polluted and going to bring us sore destruction. We're roughly paraphrasing. I'm going to go ahead and grab that just so you can see it for yourself. The book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart. That doesn't mean to physically arise. That means come out of the ways of this place. We can still exist here, but not participate in the folly of this place. The thing that's going to bring us our demise. Number one is election. And I'm going to prove that. It has always been doing that. All right. For this is not your rest. Talking about America, aka Babylon the Great. Okay. Because it is polluted. We know it's definitely polluted. This place is defiled with all types of idolatries, practices of all the kingdoms that ever came before this place and magnified. That's what Esau does. Anything that was wicked in the past, he loves it, adopts it, puts his own name on it, and it's magnified. All right. And it goes on to say, it shall destroy you even with the sword destruction. And that's just what's about to happen as part of this Jacob's trouble. All right. We already know, according to Zechariah 13 and 8, 2/3 of our people are marked for destruction. That's all to it. And, somebody has to fill that lot. Likewise, the 1/3, which is the elect, Zechariah 13, 9, which consists of the 144,000 rulers and judges and the remaining, the innumerable multitude after that. Okay. So, yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting here in the coming days. All right. Back to that Isaiah 30. And 3. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame. And what is his strength? His sword. All right? His doctrines, his philosophies, okay? His laws, according to Isaiah 10 and 1, you know, and mainly the sword, you know, which is, a sword when you go into the scriptures, it's any killing instrument or an instrument that brings devastating harm. We know according to Psalm 17 and 13, he is the sword of the Lord, you know, and the earth is in his hands right now, according to Job 9 and 24. All right. So you got a problem. You got a problem to deal with, because you trust in this guy. All right. This is the book of Jeremiah. Chapter 17, verse 5. And it reads, Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, his strength, okay, and whose heart departeth from the Lord. Okay, and how do you make him a flesh his arm? That means you make him your strength. Okay, how do you do that? By voting. You know, the scriptures say our strength comes from our power. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, let me get that. Just prove that. My strength. It's quite a few scriptures. It says that, but it's going to prove it. Right in Exodus 15 and 2. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is my strength and my song, and he has become my salvation. He is my power, and I will prepare him a habitation, my father's power, and I will exalt him. All right? Plenty of them. Plenty of them. Saying that the Lord is our strength. All right? But when you go back to Jeremiah 17 and 5, cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm, or make man his strength, and whose heart departed from the Lord. How do you do that? By voting. Let's prove that. In Edamon Online, this is the word vote. Okay. A noun, a formal expression of one's wish or choice with regard to a proposal candidate. From Latin, votum, meaning a vow, a wish, promise to a god, solemn pledge, dedication. Noun, use of a neuter of votus, past participle of volere, to promise, dedicate. Okay. The meaning, totality of voters, is the certain class or type, is from 1888. Okay. In a verb form, 1550s, to give a vote to 1560s. Enact or establish by vote. See vote. Noun. Okay. Earlier it meant to vow to do something. And see, as a people, we have to understand this is not our language. This is a bastardized language. This is the Latin. Who spoke classic Latin? The Romans. Okay? Where are we now? In the new Roman Empire. We're speaking their language. Well, you guys are speaking their language and believing in it. But as far as our language is concerned, it's the most powerful. It tells you that. When you read the prologue of Sirach in chapter 1, there's power in our language. This is not our language. That's why we often go back into the Hebrew, even with the Greek words, we can go back into the Hebrew, and understand what the meanings of the true meaning of the word was. Okay, but here it's telling you It's a vow or a wish, a promise to a God. So whether it is Kamala or a Trump, whichever one you vote for, you're making a promise to them. You're making them your God, your power. All right? And what did the Lord say about that? Okay? If you don't know any of the commandments at all, you got to remember that first one. All right? This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, starting at verse 1. And the power spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. All right. I just read to you the etymology of the word vote. Okay. That's the word in its purest form, what it meant, what it means today. All right. And uh, here again, you go out there tomorrow, you're going to be guilty, you know, whichever one wins, it doesn't matter. Whoever you voted for, whether they win or lose, you made a promise or a solemn pledge to a God. All right. A vow, a wish, promise to a God, a solemn pledge, dedication. All right. That's what you did. Either way, when you go out. That's why he told us not to do that in Deuteronomy 17 and 15. All right. So, Jake, good luck tomorrow. I say that in jest. But, uh, you going to listen to us. And, if you don't start now, it's going to be too late. All right. So with that, I just want to do a quick hit lesson on voting, and proving we should not be trusting either one of these individuals. All right. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom. We got next.